Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. It's just me today as we discuss the idea that some new maps in Overwatch may have been data mined on the PTR in the game. I'm not quite sure where they were data mined from, but regardless, we're going to go into this video. Full credit here has to go to Richard Griffin, who was the one that data mined all this stuff and presented it on the Overwatch subreddit for everybody to see. Now, I don't necessarily want to get caught up in this too much. It's exciting to have new maps. I mean, we have Horizon Lunar Colony coming out Tuesday this week. This was found by Richard with two other maps. The first map being Maunganui, which could be Mount Maunganui, which is in the city of Tauranga in New Zealand, which is very close to some of the stuff that they shot for Lord of the Rings, I think. I'm not necessarily sure on that, but it's in a really pretty part of New Zealand, and New Zealand is renowned for being a really beautiful place. I don't like the idea that people are instantly saying, oh, this is where Roadhog's from, because all of the maps have to be from where a character was from. I don't necessarily believe that as such, but I do hope to see a map in the Southern Hemisphere around Australia and New Zealand, because not only have we not had a map that's really like that, but I do think that would be a good choice when it comes to artistic style. And the fact that it's up a mountain and that this map is apparently a full escort map, going from the initials at the end of the datamine strip that was found. We know that Jeff Kaplan really liked the idea of Eichenwald pushing the payload right up a hill, so maybe this is something along those levels as well. Junkrat players, you're going to be super happy on defense, maybe not so much on attack. The other map is Utopia. This is definitely a place that Symmetra is from, based in India, and it's where a lot of the hard light stuff is set up, where Vishkar is basically set up as well. So that means Lucia's going to have a fun time going there and causing mischief, I'm sure. And apparently this map is going to be a control map. It's good to have a mix of game modes that have come out, especially with Horizon Lunar Colony being a capture point map. Hopefully that doesn't turn out to be as annoying as the other capture point maps. But it is worth, whilst we've gone over these two maps that are potentially coming out, the main thing that I want to stress is that Jeff Kaplan's already said in the past that he wants to put out about 3 to 4 maps a year. In this document, we have 3 already. Horizon Lunar Colony, which is coming out this week, Maunganui, and Utopia. My guess would be, when it comes to time frame, we're going to see Maunganui at Gamescom. Gamescom isn't all that far away. It's in about 2 months' time, and then a few months after that we got BlizzCon. Now that would be my time frame that I would assume that we would see these maps. Not only that, Gamescom is great to show off a new map for the community. As we've said before in other videos, showing off a new hero I don't think is likely at Gamescom anyway, but it was a bit of a nightmare at BlizzCon because you can't really try out the hero properly because you're playing against another 6 Sombras with 5 Sombras on your team. Somebody may even play Junkrat just to be a bit of a, I don't know, why would you do that? The point stands that it would be really good to show off a map like this at Gamescom, and also a map to show off at BlizzCon, which I think they should have done last year, just to have a new map that people could play as opposed to just playing Sombra on normal maps. It's got to be worth people's reason to queue up for these maps, at least at conventions. So that's my way of looking at it. But this information looks solid, it's not leaks. Richard has done previous stuff with data mining stuff in the past, and he seems like a credible source, so I'm going to put that in the comments below if you want to check that out. There's a lot of Mickey taken as well from YouTubers making videos about stuff like this, but I'm genuinely excited at the prospect of new maps, of course. I really like the idea that Horizon Lunar Colony was coming out. Not really sure about the capture point map, but I'm hoping that it really changes people's perspective on that. Now, I don't just want to talk about that. Some pretty interesting news happened this week that we failed to talk about yet. I've been having internet issues, we've been quite busy with stuff, and we haven't really had time to do a form of roundup. So I do want to talk about the time that Jeff Kaplan completely owned somebody on the Battle.net forums. For those that don't know, somebody posted quite arrogantly in a pretty tilty mood, does Blizzard even play their own game? And typed "Nuff said" as a response. Jeff Kaplan then came in and said, we played a game a lot. Looking at your profile, I've won approximately 800 more games than you have. That's not counting the daily internal playtests I'm in and the time that I've spent on the alpha and beta. Do you have a specific question, or are you just trolling? Now, of course, the community sort of rallied around this. It was nice to see Jeff Kaplan himself sort of respond and push away this kind of behavior that seems to be a feeling more common in the Overwatch community of just this elitism toxicity. But saying that, a couple of days later, the guy that actually made the response posted on the subreddit saying, hey, I'm the rude person that was on the subreddit. Again, I'm really sorry. I wanted to formally apologize to Jeff, but Jeff actually got in touch with him. In this pretty long, detailed response, he apologized, in fact, for the feedback that he gave on Widowmaker, which was the straw that broke the camel's back. He posted some stuff on Widowmaker. It was kind of ignored, so he got pretty angry and posted this, do you even play the game post on the forum, sorry. So he responded to that and actually rewarded the player with a year's worth of World of Warcraft, and said that if you don't play it, then give it to somebody else, you'll really make their day. But was really keen to apologize to this, and not only do I think that this is a really good PR move, because you don't want to be caught as that tilted lead designer of Overwatch, but I think it sends a good example to the rest of the community that kind of attitude that Jeff Kaplan had with him, just completely owning this guy like he had every right to, but he understood that a lot of the time you have to take the high ground and stuff like that, and you can't just act like that. It doesn't help. It doesn't help the toxicity thing. You've got to sort of take the high ground a little bit and be much more responsible. Because if you have one person tilted and the other person gets tilted, then that's toxicity. It spreads. That's the idea of why that sort of idea is poisonous. But I did want to mention this story. I think it's pretty interesting for those that don't know. It's a little bit old. It's about half a week old, but I still wanted to mention it anyway. But the main news today is that we may know what the 2 next maps may be. I'm not going to say that they're going to be anytime soon because they're just flat out not. But I do suspect that we'll see one of them at least at Gamescom. With definitely another one at BlizzCon, and then maybe another one in between or after. I'm not necessarily quite sure. But that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.